Hello and welcome to the United Stand. This is our Manchester United versus Brighton preview and Jose Mourinho press conference reaction. And as per usual, Jose Mourinho has come out with some absolute pearlers. All I'm going to say at the start is that, look, Mourinho is going to get some criticism, he's going to get some praise for what he said, but the praise should be the honesty. He does give honest answers. The Eric Bailly thing is, I've gone live pretty much straight after. I'm still not too sure where I sit on the Eric Bailly thing. But let's start off with Mourinho and Fellaini. Ridiculous comments yesterday. We reacted to it about this time yesterday where Fellaini came out and basically said Manchester United have been stupid. He's an important player and realistically they should have been dealing with him earlier. I don't think he should be part of the squad for tomorrow. That's my opinion. I think coming out publicly and ridiculing the club in a way like that, and you can say, well, he didn't really ridicule them. He did, and that's how I've read it, and that's how many people have read it. But surprise, surprise, Mourinho comes out and backs him and says, I'm still positive he'll sign. The contract's there. I want him to stay. The club wants him to stay. Basically confirming that the ball's in Fellaini's court. So Fellaini does have Manchester United Football Club by the balls. Mourinho's desperate for him to stay. Manchester United Football Club, if you believe Mourinho, is desperate for him to stay. Most fans are desperate for him to go and annoyed with him with what he did yesterday. But such is life. United are desperate for him to stay, and I think he will stay again now. Yesterday I thought he was going to go. I think he will stay because Mourinho's reaction to it is, I don't really care what he says. Well, he hasn't said that, but he obviously isn't bothered because, again, he's reiterated that he wants him to stay, which I find quite amazing. We're trying to keep Mourinho and Fellaini at the club. Manchester City are linked to Leon Bailey this morning. I mean, Leon Bailey's a player, an exciting young winger, ripping it up in Europe. We've been mentioning him on this show. You've been mentioning him on this show, and we're desperately trying to sign Fellaini, keep Fellaini, and other clubs are going out buying exciting players. So it's a little bit worrying. What might be a little bit more worrying though is that he was asked about Darmian and Blind, and let me get the quotes now. They're part of my plans. If we have the right offer, we'd study it, but if the players are happy, we're happy, and I don't want to sell them. So Darmian and Blind doesn't want to sell them. Now that could be a political answer. It's not as beggy as the Fellaini thing, but we could end up with Blind and Darmian next season. I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to stay positive because it's these are players that these are the deadwood players, and I do like Daley Blind, and I haven't really got anything against Darmian, but they are players that do need to be moved on with Fellaini as well. But Mourinho obviously loves them. Greg Grant says Mourinho is the major problem at Manchester United, and has Fellaini got something on Jose? Says Gungshi. Blackmail maybe. Mourinho is the best coach ever. We have to trust his plan, says Eridon Hoda. Good to see a bit of positivity. And the Mick Miners show says he still hasn't signed yet though, has he? Yeah, but you know what, Mick? I've said this before about Fellaini. I hope he signs the contract and Mourinho can live by that decision. And hopefully Mourinho proves us all wrong, because I don't really want to see Mourinho Fellaini going when our club and our manager are begging him to stay. It doesn't seem right. They should be making the logical decision that most fans have, that he doesn't really fit in with what United's all about. And Mourinho should be saying, I want him to go. Not, oh, I desperately want him to stay. So if that's the case, let him bloody stay. Let's continue. Let's continue with it. Lukaku is out of the game for Brighton tomorrow, and I'm going to do my prediction in a minute, but I wanted to just whiz through some of the things that Jose Mourinho said in his press conference. He said that the Eric Bailly thing is really interesting. So he said about Eric Bailly, he was asked about what the Eric Bailly situation is. Biosphere says clearly Jose is the problem and he's going to ruin us. Thanks for the contribution, Bio. I don't necessarily agree with the opinion, but it's yours. There is no situation with Eric Bailly. He was asked whether there was a situation. He said no. And basically what he said is, look, Eric Bailly's not injured. We're not a club or a manager that gets sentimental about the World Cup, but in effect, I am sentimental about the World Cup. Eric Bailly can't play in the World Cup, so at the moment he's sort of down the pecking order because Rojo, Smalling, Jones, Lindelof, they can all go to the World Cup, and they need sort of, I'm sentimental for my players that I want them to go to the World Cup and give them opportunity. So effectively, we didn't see Eric Bailly playing recently because he's trying to give game time to people so they can go to the World Cup. I mean, I think I sort of understand it. And again, I praise the honesty for Mourinho, because if he doesn't say that, he doesn't leave himself wide open. But then I think England aren't going to win the World Cup. Sweden aren't going to win the World Cup. Argentina probably not going to win the World Cup. Manchester United need to build a centre-back partnership for next season, and Eric Bailly's hardly played this season. Can we not just give him a run of games and see if his fitness levels are up to it? Because we're going to need him next season. So it does seem a little bit strange that we're not playing Eric Bailly so that others can go to the World Cup. We're Manchester United. Since when did we become a club that starts putting players' personal preferences to go to a World Cup ahead of what's ahead of us? I'm on the fence with that one. I don't know what you lot think. I think it's a good point from Jose, says the Phil 668, so he agrees with it. The mental one, says Moada. I think Bay is injured and this is a cover-up, says Don Snaps. I don't actually think he would, and I don't think that would be a very good cover-up, because I think there'll be some people that are not happy about it. Jesus Christ says that's bullshit. Martial will be in the French squad, Sanchez isn't, so that's rubbish. I tell you what, give Jesus Christ an absolute applause. An absolute applause. What a great comment that is. That is an absolutely superb comment, because Martial needs to go to the French squad as well. Sanchez is playing for Chile and they're not in the World Cup, so why is Martial not getting game time? Very good point. Even I'd not thought of that, and I'm part of Martial FC. So, interesting about Eric Bailly. What else did he talk about? Obviously very positive about Fellaini staying. Destiny's in his own hands. Got the club by the balls. No situation with Bailly. I'm not... the World Cup, yeah, we spoke about that. And Lukaku being out, we spoke about that. He was also asked about David De Gea and whether it's a good or bad thing that he's won the Player of the Year 4 times out of the last 5 years. And obviously the question was there pointing at United playing negative football. He glossed over that. He said it's a good thing. He's a good goalkeeper. He's made some good saves. He deserves it. And of course, he does deserve it. David De Gea does deserve Player of the Year. But I think anybody also knows that it's a massive indicator that we as a club are quite a negative club, and we do need to be a little bit careful about that. Martial is leaving then, 100%, says Pankaj, and Jose in all the way. Look, we are where we are from Sir Alex. People need to sit down, but he does need to go the United way, says Carl Williams. And Southgate hates Smalling, so why is he playing over Bay? Says MDFD Gaming HD, which is a very good point. A very good point. I don't think Smalling can get into the World Cup squad either. So maybe play Bay. And I agree with Don Snaps. Thought the questions were very good today. Let's just talk about the match tomorrow against Brighton. Brighton have got 37 points. And if they lose tomorrow and other teams win at the weekend, they could find themselves in a relegation battle. So Brighton will be up for it tomorrow. Mourinho says I think they've got enough points already, but I'm not sure. I think they may need another couple of points. So Brighton will be up for it tomorrow. Friday night football, not a massive fan of it, but need to see something from United tomorrow. I'm going to do my prediction now in relation to who should start and who shouldn't. But, well, no, I'll say it now. Anthony Martial should start in this game. He was brilliant when he came on against Arsenal. And I know Fellaini's hair scored the winner, but Martial really gave us some impetus when he came on. He's got to start tomorrow. Lingard didn't play well. Sanchez was awful. How can they keep starting games just because they're Mourinho's first choice players? And I know that sounds a little bit hypocritical, but Martial is playing better than them. He must start this game. He must start this game. He's got to start this game. I nearly even titled it "Martial must start," but I think it's just so obvious that he has to start. Anthony Martial himself says he does, and I agree with Pankaj. I think Lindelof needs game time as well. It'd be ridiculous if he was dropped. But let's go to this screen and I'll do my predicted lineup for you, because despite what I've just said there, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. This is what I think Jose will do. So I think we'll see De Gea in goal. No surprises there. I think we'll see Valencia at right back, and I think we'll see Jones. Where are you, Phil, of the Jones? Jones will play. Young will play. Matic will play. Pogba will play. Lukaku won't play, so we'll come back to that one. And I think we'll definitely see Chris Smalling play. And I think we will see Fellaini play. And I think we will see Sanchez playing. And Lingard will play. And I think we'll see Marcus Rashford. Where are you? Where are you, Marcus? Marcus Rashford? There you are. Okay. So that is how I think we will go. That's our starting lineup. Young, Jones, Smalling, Valencia, De Gea, Matic, Fellaini, Pogba, Sanchez, Rashford, Lingard. I am absolutely convinced that he will start Fellaini tomorrow, because I think Mourinho is not a stupid man. He's a stubborn man. He is publicly demanding that Fellaini stays. The club apparently are backing him on that. He will be 100% aware that the fans don't want Fellaini to stay. So he needs to do Operation Fellaini. And I think Operation Fellaini will involve him playing tomorrow. And maybe he'll score again, and maybe he'll win some more people on side. I mean, Mourinho needs to do that. He does need to do that. You can criticise him, but he does need to do that. There's going to be a lot of people not convinced that begging this sort of a player to stay at the club is the right thing to do. So if Mourinho is going to do it, he needs to go on the offensive with his PR campaign, and he needs to get Fellaini, winning some of them fans back. So I think Fellaini will start. I think Rashford will start up front because Mourinho has shown over recent weeks that Mourinho is that Rashford is his first preference over Martial. We've seen Rashford come on the left wing ahead of Martial. We see Rashford coming on all the time ahead of Martial. So I don't necessarily think Martial will start, but I think he deserves to start. I do want to mention Juan Mata as well. I think Juan Mata's been very, very unlucky recently. I don't really know what Mata's done wrong. He seems to have been the fall guy for the West Brom game. Remember when we played terribly at home to West Brom and Mourinho came out and said certain players have cost themselves a position in the team. And then we play Arsenal at home and play exactly the same crap football. So clearly wasn't Mata's fault. But Mata probably deserves to play tomorrow, but I don't think he will do either. Gungshi again says, why is Alexi playing instead of Martial if the World Cup is his priority for players? And Ryan says, I'm sorry, but Lingard isn't good enough in the right midfield. We need a right winger. And any youth tomorrow, says Anish. I don't think we'll see any youth until the Watford game. I think we'll see what happened with the Crystal Palace game last season. Last game of the season at home. We'll have sorted second place out, and I think he'll use some kids in that game there. So I don't think we'll see any youth before then. Manchester Skulls 18. Who knows if it's a positive or a negative signing? He seems a good playing centre-back, but he's had hardly any match time to see if he will make the grade. I think they're talking about Lindelof there. And I think Lindelof will grow into the role. He just needs games. But I think he will go with Jones over the next few weeks because he wants Jones to go to the World Cup. I personally think, I like Chris Smalling, but taking that aside, I think that we should be playing Bailly and Lindelof because unless we're going to sign a centre-back in the summer, which, yeah, we might do, but I think it'll be Umtiti, Alderweireld or no one. If we're not going to sign those two players, then we should be playing... what I said in the international break back in March was what these next few weeks for United were all about is winning the FA Cup, which hopefully we will do, establishing second place, but above all that, establishing a way of playing, a consistent picking of an 11 and a better way of playing. And centre-back pairing is really important. And Bailly and Lindelof could be playing together now for the last few weeks of the season and building an understanding that they can take into next season. But we're not. We're picking people who can go to the World Cup. It's weird. No Herrera, somebody said. No, I think he'll pick Fellaini tomorrow. That's not my 11. When I go back, that's not my 11. This is my predicted 11. And I have to predict it based on what I think Mourinho will do. If it's my 11, there's no Fellaini. He's out and Herrera's in. I've ticked him. There should be a cross. My thing's broke. He's out. Martial in. Herrera in. And I'd probably take him out because he's not been good either and put Mata there as well. Why are people getting ticks? We don't want that. We don't want that. You shouldn't be getting a tick. Anyway, let me come back to you lot. We need a backup striker, says Pankaj. Yeah, potentially I think we do. The team will be De Gea, Valencia, Smalling, Rojo, Shaw, Matic, Pogba, Fellaini, Mata, Rashford, Martial, says Anthony Martial. I'd like to see Martial starting. I really think he deserves to do that. Please do drop a like on the video. We had an absolute disaster where I started another stream and I looked like an Oompa Loompa. So please do drop a like. I get very stressed when I can't provide you with the service that you deserve on the United Stand. And also, I just want to say as well, if you've not emailed us, soccerboxtv@gmail.com. Loads of people have emailed us so far. Basically, it's United Stand's Got Talent, where you can anything you want to offer to the United Stand. If it's a 30-second clip because you think you should be the next Mark Goldbridge, if it's you want to write for the website, you're a social media expert, you've got ideas to develop the channel, you want to get involved, soccerboxtv@gmail.com. That's what we're looking at this summer, getting more and more people involved in the channel and more voices. And you know what? If there's somebody out there better than me, what we're going to do with the clips is we're going to put 30-second clips up on the shows with a poll and you can vote them off like Britain's Got Talent. Really looking forward to it. So soccerboxtv@gmail.com for that. That guy says McTominay will 100% play some part of the game. He needs to. He's won Player of the Year. I thought that I've not spoken about that actually. I think that Mourinho's picking of Scott McTominay as his Player of the Year was totally and utterly political, and I think a lot of people saw through it. Nothing against Scott McTominay, but he's not Player of the Year. He can't be manager's Player of the Year. He can't be. He's just not played enough. He's not been on the scene long enough. It's a token gesture by Mourinho to say, look at me and what I do with the youth. And I think a lot of people see that as a political thing. Not necessarily a negative political thing, but definitely didn't wash with me because he can't be your Player of the Year, Jose. He can't be. It's got to be someone like Lukaku or Matic. It can't be McTominay just because he's a young lad and he's played a few games. I think he's had one. Did he have one man of the match as well? I like the gesture, but it's a bit of a mockery of the Manager's Player of the Year award. Go give us somebody like who we expect it to be. NG Sainte says, please like and subscribe. It's a great community. It's your community, so do get involved with it. And he's now playing, maybe to give confidence to the lads, says Pancake. Oh yeah, look, politically doesn't necessarily mean a negative thing. I know a lot of people liked it, but I know a lot of people saw straight through it as to what it was. It was a I play the youth. Okay. Jose said Sanchez comes inside too much and Martial is better at staying wide, so I reckon Sanchez will be dropped, says Anthony Martial. When did he say that? When did he say that? Martial made the difference against Arsenal, didn't he? So definitely should get involved. We're getting very close to 219,000 subscribers as well. And remember, we are doing the transfer daily at 7 a.m. every morning. So make sure you've watched that if you've not seen this morning's. But we've got something back for you that a lot of people enjoy. We've not been doing it for quite a while, but it is back. It's Goldbridge's top tips for the Brighton game. So let me get this up and running for you. We've got gremlins in the system today. Okay, so you can download this. The link is in the video description. It's called Bet Hub through Odds Checker. And if you have betting sites, maybe with, I don't know, Bet365, Ladbrokes, William Hill, are three of the big ones. If you've got different betting accounts, remember you've got to be over 18 and do gamble responsibly. The Bet Hub is somewhere you can bring all your accounts into one place and compare different bets. So we need to find Manchester United versus Brighton so I can give you my tips. So find an event. We want football because we love football. We go football, goal on the top, not football specials, not Europa League, Premier League, Manchester United versus Brighton. They'll load up for us now. So Manchester United to win the game are 3-4, which is quite good. I don't want that. What I want is I'm quite interested in the first goal scorer and Asian handicap for this. So my tips, obviously don't bet on Lukaku, he's injured, he can't play. But I quite like Anthony Martial at 5-1. I think that's a really good bet. So if you're putting a fiver on, you get 25 quid. If you're putting a tenner on, you get 50 quid. So I like Anthony Martial first goal scorer because although I've said I don't think Mourinho will pick him, I've got a funny feeling he might play him through the middle because I was told something by somebody today about Anthony Martial that he will play through the middle next season and that's going to be a lure to make him stay. So what it will do is it will give you the best odds, which is with Boyle Sports, but you might not be signed up with Boyle Sports, so you can click other bets and it will show you all the best odds for Anthony Martial to be the first scorer with all the top betting sites. So if you're with Ladbrokes, you can attach it to this app, click it, and there it is. So I know a lot of people who do football betting will have a number of different betting accounts. So the great thing about the Odd Checker Bet Hub, which you can download in the link in the video description, is you can attach all your betting accounts there, and it's a one-stop hub to get all your bets. So Anthony Martial, first goal scorer. You just go into there and then obviously it will give you the best odds in there. That's the good thing about the app as well. It will give you the best odds, but it will also give you other odds with other companies. So, you know, there's loads and loads of them and they're bound to have your one in there. So Martial to score at any time is my first tip. And then I quite like the Asian handicap. So I'm going to go with, which one was it? No, it wasn't that one. It wasn't that one. It was handicaps. Handicaps. Manchester United. Manchester United to score, to win the game with 2 goals taken off. So it's Manchester United -2. So I think we're going to win by... my score prediction for tomorrow is 3-0. So -2, it'd still be 1-0. So that's my prediction really there. And my other bet would be Manchester United -2 in the handicap section. So my eyes are crap. That's with Marathon Bet, who sponsor Manchester United. 17-5. So a tenner would win you 44 quid. But again, you just go to other sources and it will give you the other betting options in there as well. So link in the video description for that. But my two tips for the game tomorrow... I'm going to go 3-0 Manchester United, so I'd go a -2 handicap because they still win with that, or Anthony Martial first goal scorer. Download the app in the link in the video description. It's the Bet Hub on Odds Checker. Really good app to pull in all your sports betting accounts, and it will show you where you can get the best odds from as well. So link in the video description. Remember, you've got to be over 18 and do gamble responsibly. But 3-0 is my score prediction, so that's why I've gone -2. And Anthony Martial, first goal scorer, 5-1. I'm going to put a tenner on that. I've got a funny feeling he might start through the middle. Not enough to put him in my predicted 11, but I just think he might start through the middle in relation to something I read this morning about Martial being lured to sign a new contract with the promise of playing more through the middle next season, which is apparently where he wants to play. So interesting there. When are you going to do a F1 career mode, Christopher White? Well, that'll be on the Mark Goldbridge channel, and I will let you know when I'm going to do it. Remember, tonight on That's Football, we've got a watch along for Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal. Please do drop a like on the video before you go. Don't forget to watch Transfer Daily every morning at 7 AM. We'll be back again with that tomorrow morning. But unless something breaks, we won't be live again on the United Stand tonight. We'll be on That's Football for Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal. And back tomorrow morning at 7 AM with the Transfer Daily. But you never know, we might be live later because anything can happen at any time. I just feel there's a few stories bubbling away at Manchester United at the moment. So thanks everyone for watching. Get commenting below if you didn't watch live. What are you thinking about Eric Bailly? Is it good that he's being dropped so others can go to the World Cup? Some people think it is. Fellaini backs him, despite what he said yesterday that he's got the clubs by the balls effectively. Mourinho doesn't mind, he wants him to stay. Is that good? Darmian and Blind apparently doesn't want to sell them. What do you think about that? Are we retaining Deadwood, or is it good to keep them? A lot of people do like Daley Blind. Lukaku out injured tomorrow, could be back for the FA Cup. Who would you start through the middle? Thanks everyone for watching. See you all tomorrow. 3-0 United score prediction. Link in the video description. Download that app if you are somebody who has a bet, because it's really good. You can pull all your betting apps into one and it will show you where the best bets are. My tip, Martial first goal scorer, United 3-0, so handicap it down -2. There we go. Thanks for watching. Speak to you soon.